I just had my second lunch before this. I'm hungry.
Hi, Melissa.
Hey, Julie. Okay, Julie, you can get the meeting started.
Okay, then I'm gonna call the meeting to order and we'll do a salute the flag. I don't have a flag in my room, but I guess you do in yours. So, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible. One nation under indivisible. I know this. And I'm drawing, I just went blank.
Justice for all.
Finish it up. Okay. I can't believe I did that. Okay. So, the Finance and Administration Committee meeting will be conducted in person and on the web communication platform Zoom. We encourage members of the public to access the meeting using web video application Zoom. We are both in person at 1362 Route 10 Court, Suite 100 in Livermore, California, as well as City Manager's Conference Room, 123 Main Street, Pleasanton. And so can we get roll call, please?
Yes, Director Hernandez. Present. Vice Chair Kick. Here. And Chair Testa.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, great. So item 3, meeting open to the public. Do we have any public who would like to speak?
So I didn't receive anything via email from the public, and there are no attendees in Zoom, and we don't have anybody here in our meeting for the public. So no.
Thank you. Then we need a item 4, minutes of the April 24th meeting of the Finance Committee. Do I have a motion to approve?
Hernandez will move. I'll second.
All right, and all in favor? Do we need a roll call on that?
You need a roll call because you're remote today. So Director Hernandez. Aye. Vice Chair Kick. Aye. And Chair Testa.
Aye. Okay.
Motion passes.
Then we move on to 5, Treasurer's Report.
Okay, good afternoon. Thank you. Presented before you is the Treasurer's Report for April 2023. As you can see, our cash balances are very healthy. It is the 10th month of the fiscal year, as scary as that is. We are at 64.2% on expenses, although we are again 2 months behind on paratransit billing, which wouldn't adjust the percentage as much, but it's still not as accurate as it should be. And while expenses are at 64.2, revenues are at 86.3. And again, we have a very, very, very healthy cash flow. And I'll take any questions.
All right, any questions?
I have no questions.
Okay, then do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move approval.
Okay, and a second? I didn't hear it. Did we get a second?
Yes.
All right, first and second, then can I get a roll call vote, please?
Director Hernandez.
Aye.
Vice Chair Kick. Yes. Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Item 6, annual salary band review.
Okay. So each year we go out for a peer review. We hired this year Coffin Associates to do a peer review of other transit agencies. The transit agencies were selected years ago based on their size, their location, and how they're made up. So they are enterprise entities. They are not part of a city. We originally had 11. We removed one because their numbers just skewed everything horrendously. So the board asked us to remove them. So we went out for the review, they review both salary and salary plus benefits, so the total compensation. LAVTA does pride itself on having excellent benefits, so we include that in our comparison. We received the report back, which is included in your packet. There's nothing too alarming in the comparisons between us and other agencies. So we are requesting to adjust the salary bands by the CPI this year, which is 4.2%. Adjusting the bands does not guarantee a raise for staff members. Raises are given based on merits. It would only adjust if somebody was at the very bottom of the salary band, and we do not have any staff members at the bottom. Most of our staff is in the middle. We plan to, as part of a full strategic plan for the agency, we plan to redo this information, but after we get the results of the strategic plan, we feel that there may be some changes in job descriptions, maybe job titles, maybe reporting hierarchy, that sort of thing. So once we do that, we will go out for another salary study to compare the new job descriptions to comparator agencies. We may also request to change the comparator agencies based on what we discovered through the strategic plan process. So I'm not sure how long the strategic plan is going to take, but that will be coming back. But at this time, we are asking to adjust salary bands by CPI of 4.2% for this next fiscal year. And that's my report. Any questions?
My question is, why the not guaranteed bump for CPI annually?
What was the question? You mean, why not the guaranteed bump for CPI annually? Do you mean for each employee? Or
Yeah.
you mean, our policy says that we will do it based on merit.
Yeah.
So if you have an underperforming employee, they may not get a raise that year. Generally, and again, this will be a part of the strategic plan review. Generally, those who meets improvement gets at least CPI.
Okay.
So anyone who is
Exceeding their.
right, they would get more, but anyone who is not meeting expectations would not automatically get a raise.
Sure, but the bar isn't ridiculously high, so CPI
No,
is,
not at all.
CPI is.
It meets, right, so, and
It's
honestly.
not truly automatic, but it's in
Right.
practice,
Right.
potentially, sure. Okay.
Exactly, and anyone who's not in the meets would also be put on a performance improvement plan,
Okay,
because the very least we expect is meets, so
Yeah.
we really expect more, but
Yeah.
the very least is.
sure.
Okay, any further questions?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. How much do we pay the agency to do the ranges for us? To go and do all?
To do the study?
Yeah.
The current company we use is about 17,000, but we will be switching after the strategic plan to a new company that's more in the range of 6,000 to 7,000.
Yeah, that's high.
Yeah, well, because they have to actually look at, we're a little complicated, I guess compared to a city, because we actually
Oh,
have to.
we don't pay that.
No, I'm sure. We have to actually have them dig into every job description because, well, every agency has an executive assistant. Not every agency has a capital projects manager, or they have their planning department. Our planner's position is divided amongst 3 people in other agencies. So they have to go through and kind of take out, which position. So they're looking at all these positions of these other agencies. So it's very hard to make us comparable. We actually requested this year when we saw some of the results to see the job descriptions that they were using to compare to. Because we were like, why is somebody at this agency making so much more? And then you look and it's like the closest comparator is actually somebody who's doing that job, plus supervising people, plus making other decisions and doing other things. But we are, why do we pay COP that much? Because until this year, until we went out again for the strategic plan, COP was the only one who had bid on us because of the complexity. We literally, since we started doing this, everyone else declines to take our project, so.
That's interesting.
And I'm actually interested in looking at
the agencies that we compare ourselves to. So we have a list of 11 agencies that have been used historically. These range from Tri-Delta Transit, County Connection, those make sense. We've had Santa Cruz included as a peer agency, which may or may not make sense. I'm particularly interested in agencies that could draw our employees away, like Sacramento, possibly AC Transit. So we are talking about what are the right agencies for us to compare ourselves to.
And in comparator agencies, is cost of living considered?
I
Is who?
Cost of living.
No,
No.
and yes and no. I mean, where it becomes very difficult is that the way transit agencies are set up, they want as many comparator agencies as they can find, because, for example, our capital projects manager did not have enough comparative positions amongst the 11 agencies, so it's just insufficient data was his data. So they're trying to keep it close, but they can only do that so much. I mean, you look at AC Transit, and we might have people because they're close, but AC Transit is a very different type of agency and a much larger agency. I'm gonna be honest, I know what they pay the person in my position, but I wouldn't do it for that much. Because that job is just way more complicated. So even though, you know, they're local and the cost of living might be similar, the job's not the same, and the positions are. So, but there is no like factor in like, okay, you're in this, but you know, Santa Cruz cost of living is higher. Although most of our employees, like Stockton shoes, many of our employees live near Stockton, so that is their cost of living. Whereas I think a third of our agency actually lives out here. So, but yeah, we've talked about doing that adjustment by cost of living, but then again, it's subjective to the information that they receive, so.
Relative cost of living.
Relative
I mean,
cost of
it's not like we're comparing ourselves to Idaho.
Right, no, completely.
Yeah.
I don't think we have any out of state.
Yeah.
No, they're all fairly local. I mean, Santa Cruz is a distance, Stockton's a distance. They also tried to keep it same size, but Stockton's much bigger. Contra, 3 CTA is much bigger. But trying to find like where they're really a comparator. Before we did this, before we switched to this way, we were comparing ourselves to cities. Oh, and then it looked like we were being horribly underpaid. But we're not comparable to cities. Your director of administrative services, which is a position we no longer have, but that's not the same as your city manager, and that's what it was being compared to. It's not even close.
No.
So we went to transit agencies, but then trying to find transit agencies that are like us
It's hard.
is hard. So we're looking to add maybe a few, which, you know, when you look at them, you do have to kind of take it into consideration that, okay, AC Transit is going to pay a lot more because they're a much bigger agency, but they are close, you know.
Plus, they're all over, I mean, in Oakland.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, they're serving a lot more people.
Right,
Yeah,
right, it's a very different agency.
they have a lot more
Yeah, they
staff.
had to. Us 3 cities don't even have the population of Oakland,
Right,
so.
right, they've got
that's
Oakland, they've got Hayward, they've got, yeah. So, but I mean, the more data we get, the more you can look at, you don't necessarily have to say, oh, we want to go towards AC Transit.
Yeah.
Because that would be realistic, but we're gonna add some more agencies, just so there's more information.
And, you know, your retirement system also differs between agencies. Tri-Delta Transit, they tend to pay more. They don't have PERS. County Connection has PERS, but they directly operate their service, which is your director of operations at County Connection is gonna be like your director of operations and your general manager here. And so there's just unfortunately plucking someone that's exactly like us is a challenge, but that's why I think it's.
Because we're unique and special.
Unique and special in many ways, yes.
I just don't want us to be near the bottom.
No.
We tend to trend in the middle, to be honest, for most positions. We do have a couple that we're going to be looking at as part of the strategic plan to maybe change what salary band they are in.
Yeah.
Just because they were towards bottom compared to the comparator agencies. But again, this is salary bands, this is an actual salary. So some of those employees, even though their salary band is only rated towards the top.
And one last thing I'll mention is I'm interested in like telework policies and, you know, flexible work schedules that may be offered by other agencies, just to understand what our transit agency is offering. Thinking about recruitment and retention in the future, you know, teleworking and that flexibility may become more important. Currently, we are a 5-day-a-week in-house shop, which is fine. But I believe the consultants did gather some information on what type of, like, is 980 available? Do they have telework days? And so that's another data point that we'll be thinking about.
Okay. All right, great. Lots of information. Thank you. So can I get, if no further questions, a motion to approve this to go on to the LAVTA board?
I'll move approval.
I'll second. I'm interested to see why legal counsel is in the same, I thought they report to you. I know, but I didn't think that they were on the same, I thought they were on the bottom, next to you.
I think.
That's how we do it.
Oh, okay, we look at that.
That's how we do it. I was just wondering, because I'm like, did we do that?
Yeah, I think the legal counsel actually reports to the board technically.
He does, and I can tell you he's in the exact same spot he was last year and the year before, and the year before that, because I
Well,
didn't.
no, I remember having this, but it was like a bigger,
Oh,
from
okay.
many years ago.
Okay,
It was a little bit bigger.
The real one's much bigger.
Yeah.
But ours, I have literally always been able, I make those boxes smaller, I will make the font smaller, but I've always been able to keep it
Just put it on my
somewhere.
page.
And I had to move a few people around this year, and I was like, okay, everyone's got to fit, but, yeah, it's.
Ours is actually the resident.
Yeah.
Then it's the council,
Yeah.
then it's Linda
That's
and.
cool, that's how it should be.
Yeah,
That's
It's
cool.
the
The
resident.
bus riders.
I was just wondering. And I know I've seen this before, but I only see it like once a year.
Yeah. It might have been lower, but Michael, when Michael was here, he had the rail on there too,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
he may
yeah.
have had to move
Yeah.
that.
It's a bigger one.
Yeah, I didn't need the rail.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Okay, then we have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call?
Yes, Director Hernandez,
I,
Vice Chair Kick.
Yes.
Chair Testa.
Aye.
Motion passes, and I just want to put on the record, we still don't have any attendees in this meeting right now for public comment.
Thank you for reminding me of that. Okay. And, all right, so we're moving on to item 7, board member stipends.
Thank you very much, Chair Pesta. This is an information item at your April 25th Finance and Admin Committee meeting. Committee member Hernandez requested that staff research current board member stipends from various local agencies. And staff has done a great job. Thank you, Jennifer, for making those phone calls. And in the table at the bottom of page 1, you can see several agencies, including Zone 7 Water, LAVTA, the Livermore Area Recreation and Park District, Alameda C2C, and then we included just a few other transit agencies, just as an FYI. You currently receive $100 per board member per meeting per month, and that was adopted in 2006 pursuant to resolution 24-2006. And so this is presented for your information, and we can take any questions.
so 2006 was when this was presented.
It was when it
Yes.
went from $50 to 100.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
2006,
Yes.
I told you Janet Lockhart was on our board,
it always takes a woman.
so was Mark, I think.
Oh, how funny.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just brought this because I sit on, committees that there's no stipend in, and it shouldn't be an I thing, it should be just how we do it already in other committees. I don't say that we go ahead and, do this every year or anything, but at least for the council, we do it every other year. With regards to stop waste, I think we did it last year, but it's been a while too. So a lot of these have been stagnant for such a long time. And then, but for like council, again, ours is every other year.
Okay.
Unless you live more, in which case they never do it.
You guys do every other year?
No, it has to be a vote of the people.
Oh, because you guys did it that way. I didn't know, yeah.
Do you raise it every other year, or do you just discuss it every other year?
We raise it every other year
Oh,
for the council.
What does the council receive per stipend?
Oh gosh, I don't remember off the top of my head. I want to say every council is different. Like Hayward is like 2,000 and above.
Okay.
Again, I have the numbers somewhere in my computer, but every council is different. And so then also we looked at, I believe it was last year, because Sean Kumagai brought it up and said, listen, you want people to serve on your council, council members. It's just, you get a better and a bigger pool. Obviously, this agency is different. And so I just thought it was probably time to bring this forward because it's been since 2006. Close to almost 20 years.
Yeah. And my question slash suggestion is for other stipends, I do technically get a W-2, but not from here.
Top ways they do too.
It's and so every time I do my taxes, this counts as a business. And so I just attach it to like my personal business that I have. Otherwise, I have to add a separate business because it's a 1099.
So we issue it a 1099.
We issue 1099 because they're not employees.
Right, we're technically not employees of the city either, but we get W-2s from the city and
Technically, you are an employee of the city,
well,
even though you're not.
right, because we get a W-2,
Yeah,
so.
because you get a W-2,
And
yeah.
that may be how some of the other agencies set up, was that way, but we're not. Because I actually remember reading about this because there was a whole discussion many years ago about benefits.
But we don't get benefits and we still have W-2, so.
Right, well, Livermore actually used to give benefits to their
Yeah,
A long time.
city
and
council
then
members,
the
yeah.
city, our Dublin gets benefits,
Oh, okay.
and Pleasanton does too.
Yeah,
We
we're
can look
not-
into it. I mean, we could
No, so my recommendation was either we can come up, us three can come up with what the increase you want to have,
Mhm.
and then bring it to the board, or what you think is fair, but I did feel like it was worth a discussion, and it's been so long, and all of, you know, some of the other committees that we've, sat on or are currently sitting on have talked about this the last couple of years.
Yeah, mine was just ease of taxes
taxes,
would be the biggest concern.
But why can't you guys do that? Stop
We can all
Waste-
look into it.
Stop Waste gives us a W-2, and they
Okay.
also give us, they take out taxes already.
Okay, we can, I certainly.
There we
look
go.
into it. Yeah, absolutely. I'll
So
take that as an
Trinity
action.
Boroughs or Arliss is, they're really good, probably Arliss is a really good person to talk to.
Okay. At Stop Waste.
Mhm. And
I'm
moving to
sorry, Melissa, would you repeat what your recommendation was?
Oh, no, so we were just talking about how why some agencies provide the W-2 and then also take out our taxes. Because at the end of the year, we have to still claim all these, right?
Okay.
And so, Brittany was just saying that for her, she ends up having to fix it towards the end of the year, making sure that her accounting is done correctly. And so, Stop Waste automatically does that for us, where they take out your taxes already.
So there was no recommendation made, Julie, or regarding the stipend amount, but I will be looking into whether we can move to a W-2.
Yeah,
But if you have a recommendation for what you'd like.
I was recommending either, I mean, it's up to you, so that we could bring it back forward to the board, is either doing 125 or 150.
Mhm.
do we know? Like, do we know what the bump in other agencies has been, like the percentage bump, so we can be
Well, it all
similar?
varies because percentages can be a little bit of, you know,
I know,
make it
sure.
sound like you're getting this huge
There's
percentage. So that's why I think it's,
$1 to $2.
that's why I think the dollar amount is
Yeah.
a little better since it's been almost 20 years. And so.
And 150 would put you right in the middle of, Zone 7 is on the higher end, Alameda CTC is on the higher end.
And Alameda CTC, you know, we're all going into Oakland for that.
Yeah,
So those
that
are,
makes
all-
sense.
yeah, those are all having to find a parking space and
Mhm.
all that. And their meetings usually are a lot longer than ours. So I didn't know what you guys, what either one of you felt comfortable with, and then we can go from there.
I think my feedback would be, given nearly 20 years, I think a bump to 150 would be appropriate. I think all of our agencies, especially, you know, we're back to in-person traveling, all that kind of stuff. And I don't think it should go such long periods of time. We've been having these conversations in Pleasanton about our compensation, and same thing, we feel that the gaps are way too large and not being addressed. So I would support 150. It would go
I would agree, and then can we maybe write in something when it's a full changeover? So is it what, every 4 years? There's an opportunity technically for a full new board every 4 years. If it's like a regular check-in.
Or do, you guys could always do, I mean, all of us are probably not gonna be here forever. So you could have it where, it's, you know, what other councils do.
Yeah, every 2 years.
Every 2 years, and they do theirs by percentage at that time.
Yeah, and we could just include it in our annual
Mhm.
salary or every, yeah, I think that's great feedback. I think we shouldn't go this long without looking at it. So thank you for raising it.
Okay, so I think we're all in agreement.
Okay,
So we'll move it forward to the board.
so
Okay,
this was an info item only, so staff to prepare an action item for the June board meeting. Great, reflecting the committee's recommendation.
Okay.
okay, so do we need a vote on this?
No, ma'am?
Okay, all right, great. Thank you then. Moving on to item 8, preview of upcoming committee meetings.
Well, the good news is summer is fairly slow for this committee. It's a little crazy for the finance department because we have year end. But there shouldn't be any surprises, any funding that we haven't already applied for, that we haven't already done resolutions for. So in June, you'll have your minutes and your treasurer's report. July will more than likely be canceled. August will again be minutes and treasurer's report, as will September. October, you'll have your minutes, your treasurer's report, and your annual comprehensive financial report. Next month, sorry, it's not on here. Next month, you will also be hearing from our auditors. Our auditors have to come to the Finance Administration Committee every year. They speak, they ask if you have any questions, concerns, give you contact information in case you have any that you don't want to say at the meeting. And so they will be here next month.
Okay, great. Can I ask that the upcoming agenda items actually be on our agenda? Can that information just be there for us?
It is included in your packet at the very last page.
Okay, great.
It's not always updated, and that's an apology I have to issue because I have a tracking device that I use and but is that enough information, Julie, to look at the last page where you're seeing all of the
Right,
months?
sorry, I did see that and I forgot. All right.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Great, all right, then, let's see, and did I skip over? Okay, so now we're on to 9, matters initiated. Any matters initiated by committee members?
I have none.
All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to 10. Next meeting date is scheduled for June 27th. Yes. All right, and then meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.